Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Mull for Monday, the 13th of January. Following Robert Murray McShane's reading scheme, we read chapter 13, one of the chapters today. And in it we have a number of parables Jesus teaches, all relating in some way to the kingdom of God. The first is the parable of the sower and the seeds. Man sows seed, some is carried off by birds, some has no root, some is choked by weeds, but some falls on good soil and bears an abundance of fruit. He then goes on to the parable of the weeds, which begins, Jesus told them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a man who sowed good seed in his field. But while everyone was sleeping, his enemy came and sowed weeds amongst the wheat and went away. The workers want to go and weed out the weeds immediately, and the owner says, no, wait till the harvest, where you can clearly see which is weeds and which is wheat, and then we'll separate it. We'll take the wheat into the barn, and the weeds we'll throw into the fire. He then tells the parable of the mustard seed and the yeast, things which start off small, but have an action that spreads and that grows and that becomes an abundance. He then tells two parables, the parable of the hidden treasure and of the pearl of great price. Things that are so valuable that when people discover them, it's worth getting rid of everything you have in order to buy that, because it is so valuable. It is worth giving up everything in order to possess. And finally, he tells a parable of the fish in the net. Fisherman pulls up a net full of fish, and then he sorts it out. Some fish are good, which he takes. Some fish are bad, and they get thrown away. And as I read through those parables, I thought that there are a couple of themes that run through and that are worth taking note of. The one is the notion of growth and fruitfulness, that the kingdom of heaven might be small, but it's going to grow. And what we see now isn't what we will get one day. And the sense of abundance we have now is of insignificance compared to the true abundance that we will find when the kingdom of heaven finally dawns in its final glory. We have the value that what we have in the kingdom is worth giving up everything for. It's just so much value that what we're called to give up in order to receive it is not worth considering because of the value of the kingdom. And finally, while we're looking to this great, growing, valuable kingdom, in the meanwhile, until the kingdom breaks into this world, until we reach the harvest, we have the weed and the wheat together. There's good as well as bad. And the church, as part of the kingdom, we see this so clearly, that there's so much good that the church does, but there's also evil coexisting with it. And Jesus knows. And he says that that's how it'll be until the final day, when Jesus breaks into history once again to wrap it all up. That's when the final accounting will happen, and that's when the kingdom will be revealed in all its glory. And so as we read that, we recognize that we're part of this. These aren't just stories about something out there. These are stories about our life and our faith and where we are today. And we recognize that it's a mixed bag, that the church is not perfect, we're not perfect, and we constantly try and improve. And we say, God, weed out the weeds from us so that we will be more and more fruitful for you. We hang on to the value, and we recognize what we've got is of supreme value. And we also look forward to the tremendous growth and abundance that the kingdom brings. And day by day we walk with that as our vision, and the promise of God in his word given for us day by day. So be encouraged with those thoughts, that this is what we're part of, and this is what our future is. Be blessed.